Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to Unacademy's YouTube channel. Let me check if the stream is coming up in YouTube or not. After that, we will jump straight into the class. The stream is coming up in YouTube. We will jump straight into the class. Okay. Okay, stream is still not coming up. You know what happened? Jump straight into the class. The stream is coming up. Okay, the stream has come up, everyone. The stream has come up. Now let's start with the class. Let's start with the class. Now in today's class, we are going to talk about today's class is another class about Parliament. Okay, so this is part 4 of our ongoing classes about Parliament. Now in this class, we will exclusively talk about anti-defection law. We will talk about anti-defection law, and then we will talk about Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha's presiding officers. We will talk about Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha presiding officers, that is chairman, speaker, deputy speaker as well as deputy chairman. So these are the topics that we are going to discuss in our today's class. Now before moving on to the class itself, let me give you a brief introduction about myself as well as about Unacademy. See, my name is Aravind. I have completed my BE Mechanical Engineering in 2014. And I have almost 3 years of experience in teaching UPSC Civil Services. I have been teaching UPSC Civil Services from 2016 onwards, and I have experienced all stages of UPSC Civil Services, that is prelims, mains, and then interview. Now my specialization subjects include polity, international relations, and then current affairs. Now this is my Telegram link, Unacademy_Aravind. So if you wish to know more about the schedule of my classes, please join this Telegram group Unacademy_Aravind. Here I will regularly update the schedule of my classes, or if you have any doubts regarding my classes, you can ask your doubts in this Telegram group. Now, what will you get by subscribing to Unacademy? Now, by subscribing to Unacademy, one, you will get access to daily live classes where you can watch live classes, and then you can rewatch your classes, and then if you have any doubts, you can ask those doubts then and there itself. Now this rewatchability feature is very important. Why? Because if you are preparing for any competitive examination, you should have the need to revisit your old videos, because you'll be having some doubts, or if you want to revise your old videos, you should be able to do that. If you are going for an offline institution, you will not be able to rewatch your old classes, but with Unacademy, you will be able to rewatch your old classes. Alright, and then Unacademy conducts tests almost on a daily basis. Okay, this will give you essential practice for clearing UPSC. As you all might have known, when it comes to UPSC, 50% of UPSC preparation is all about studying, and then 50% is about practice. So practice is as much important as studying itself. So this practice part will also be given by Unacademy almost on a daily basis. And then all courses in Unacademy are structured courses, which means that the class will properly flow from A to B to C, so that the learning process for the students will become much easier in comparison to unstructured courses. And then with Unacademy, you will get unlimited access to videos concerned with the examination that you are subscribing for. For instance, if you are subscribing for UPSC examination, you will get unlimited access to videos concerned with UPSC examination. And also Unacademy serves as a platform where top educators like Mudit Gupta, Roman Saini, Ayush Sani, all these top educators, they get to share their knowledge with students who hail from all over India. Okay, so Unacademy serves as a platform for that. Okay, and also Unacademy provides you with a very comprehensive syllabus. Okay, so that each and every nook and corner of UP syllabus will be covered by Unacademy. Not only that, the same UP syllabus will be covered by multiple faculties. Okay, so you will have the choice of choosing from whom you want to learn UPSC from. For instance, if you're not satisfied with one faculty teaching polity, you can immediately switch over to another faculty teaching polity. So Unacademy gives you the choice of from whom you want to learn from where you want to learn from, and then at what time you want to learn from. So these are the choices that Unacademy provides you with. So Unacademy essentially is taking away the power from coaching institutions, and they are giving this power back to individuals. they're giving their power back to students. Okay, so Unacademy, that's why people call Unacademy as an educational revolution, because it is trying to democratize the entire learning platform itself. Now, I suggest you guys download Unacademy Learning app if in case you are planning to study for any competitive examination via Unacademy, because with Unacademy Learning app, you can keep track of your learning goals, how much time you are spending, okay, or if your favorite teacher is about to take a class, you will get immediate notifications via Unacademy, or some of the most common famous classes taken via Unacademy, you will get notifications for that, or even mock tests that we will conduct in this YouTube channel. Sometimes we will conduct via Unacademy Learning app. So guys, please download this Unacademy Learning app, which will be very useful for you, okay, in for preparing for UPSC. Excuse me. Now these are the amounts charged by Unacademy for plus subscription for UPSC platform. Now these amounts are very less compared to any other offline institutions, where you will be spending upwards of 4 to 5 lakh rupees on things like fees, food, rent. But with Unacademy, you won't be spending a time on either food or rent, because you will learn from the comfort of your home itself. Even with regards to fees, the upfront cost with Unacademy is very less compared to any other institution. Okay. Now, on top of very paltry sum that Unacademy is charging you, if I using my code Aravind V, you will get 10% as offer. You will get 10% as offer. So people don't forget to use my code Aravind V. Okay, so by that, you instead of paying 44,000 rupees for 1 year platform, you will be paying only 39,600 rupees. Okay. Now, even with iconic platform where Unacademy will provide you with a personal coach. Now, this personal coach is some of the most experienced faculty in UPSC field, and somehow even cleared UPSC itself. Okay, so they know all about how to clear UPSC, and they also know what kind of struggles students will face when they are preparing for UPSC. So, based on their personal struggles, they will try to help you with the process of preparing for UPSC. Okay. And then Unacademy also conducts daily mains question and answer practice almost on a daily basis. As I mentioned earlier itself, when it comes to UPSC, even for mains, 50% is about preparation, 50% is about practice. So this daily mains question and answer practice will give you enough practice to clear UPSC mains. And also Unacademy will give you study planner based on your own preferences, and they will also give you personalized feedback based on your performances in Unacademy tests. Okay, now even here, if you're using my code Aravind V, you will get 10% as offer. So instead of paying 64,000 rupees, you'll be paying only 57,600 rupees. Now I suggest you either go for 1 year platform or 2 year platform. Why? Because if you are preparing for any competitive examination, you'll be preparing for 1 to 2 years minimum. So subscribing for 1 or 2 years will make a lot of educational sense as well as financial sense. Because why? Because the amount that you will be paying per month if you are subscribing for either 1 year platform or 2 year platform is very less. Okay. Now give me a moment here. Okay. So let's move to today's class. Let me open up the document. Okay, so let's move to today's class. Okay, let's move to today's class. Now, in our previous class, we started with disqualification of MPs. Okay, we started with disqualification of MPs. Now, when we talk about disqualification of MPs, in my previous class itself, I have taught that there are 3 ways based on which an MP can be disqualified based on grounds in Article 102 itself. Okay, also based on law passed by the Parliament, that is also called as statutory grounds. And thirdly, there is another provision which was introduced by which was inserted by 52nd Constitution Amendment Act. Now, according to this Article 102A, MPs in Parliament can be disqualified by Anti-Defection Law, based on Anti-Defection Law, which is given in 10th schedule. Okay. Now, in our previous class, we learned all about these two provisions. We learned all about these two provisions, that is grounds mentioned in Article 102 as well as law passed by the Parliament. Now, in this class, we will first study anti-defection law. We will study all about anti-defection law. Now, this is a very huge topic compared to other two disqualifications. Now, it is both, this anti-defection law is both important from prelims point of view as well as mains point of view. Okay, unlike these other two topics, the anti-defection law is important both from prelims point of view as well as mains point of view. So I will cover this anti-defection law from both the perspectives. Now, when we talk about anti-defection law, first we have to talk about defection. What is defection? First we have to talk about what is defection. We have to talk about what is defection. Now, what is the literal meaning of defection? What is the literal meaning of defection? When we talk about defection, defection means what? Defection means what? It simply means disobedience or disloyalty by a member. Okay, by a member. Okay, so this defection means disobedience or disloyalty by a member shown towards whom? Shown towards whom? In this case, in case of anti-defection law, we are talking about this disobedience and disloyalty shown by an MP towards their political parties. Okay, so anti-defection law, defection means disobedience as well as disloyalty shown by members towards their political parties. So what will be the purpose of anti-defection law? In this case, what will be the purpose of anti-defection law? So the purpose of anti-defection law will be to curb this disloyalty as well as disobedience shown by members to political parties. Yeah, I'm making myself clear. Defection means disobedience or disloyalty shown by MPs towards their political parties. So the objective of anti-defection law will be to curb this disobedience as well as disloyalty shown by members to political parties. Okay. Now, before discussing anti-defection law, now this, as I mentioned previously, anti-defection law was introduced only by 52nd Constitution Amendment Act in 1985. Okay. So before 1985, anti-defection law was not originally given in the Constitution. Okay. So before 1985, there must be something happening which necessitated this passing of anti-defection law. Okay. Before 1985, there must be large scale disobedience as well as disloyalty shown by MPs towards their political parties, and it must have some effect on the working of Parliament as well as democracy in India. That's why they created this anti-defection law, right? So we have to first analyze what are the impact of defections. What is the impact of defection? So that's what we will learn here. What is the impact of defection? 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 See here, what is defection? As I mentioned before, it is disloyalty or disaffection shown by political party members to their political party. So a member A, he will move from party X to party Y. The common form of disobedience as well as disloyalty is member A moving from party X to party Y. This is common form of disloyalty as well as disobedience shown by political MPs. Okay. Now, what will it create if a political party member is moving from one political party to another political party? What will happen? See here, I'll give you one scenario. Now, assume that in Tamil Nadu State Legislative Assembly we have 200 seats. We have 200 seats. Out of these 200 seats, 110 seats are enjoyed by AIADMK, and then 90 seats are enjoyed by DMK. Now, out of this 110 AIADMK MLAs, 20 MLAs have defected from ADMK to DMK. 20 MLAs have defected from ADMK to DMK. So, what will happen? The majority enjoyed by ADMK will be thrown out, will be completely washed out overnight. Overnight, the majority which was enjoyed by ADMK party will be completely washed out. Now, after this defection, DMK will become the majority member and DMK will claim to form the government. Okay, so this is one common type of defection. So if this type of defection is if it keeps on happening, what will it create? It will create more instability. It will create more instability among governments. It will create more instability among both central government as well as state government. Why? Because party will form the government. As soon as party will form the government, in 1 or 2 years, some MLAs they will defect from their original party to another political party. So they will lose the confidence of respective state legislative assemblies, and the government will topple. So it will create a lot of instability. Now, because of this instability, political crisis. There will be a lot of political crisis that will be happening in political parties because of this instability. Okay, there will be a political crisis. There will be constant political crisis, not just in political parties but also in state politics. Okay, what happens if every 2 years governments keeps on changing? There will be a lot of political crisis. There will be a lot of confusion because of that. Now, because of this political crisis, what will happen? What will happen? What will it create? It will create a phenomenon of frequent elections. It will create a phenomenon of frequent elections. Now, what is the economic impact of economic as well as social impact of frequent elections? What is the economic as well as social impact of frequent elections? One, non-developmental expenditure. Non-developmental expenditure will reduce, and then this is the financial impact. Non-developmental expenditure will reduce. Now, because of this reduced non-developmental expenditure, what will happen? Socio-economic development will also reduce. Now, because of these frequent elections, what will be the social impact? People will be disaffected towards elections. Okay, if there are elections that happens every 2 years, do you think people will go out and vote for a political party? Every 2 years, do you expect people to go to their respective villages and cast their vote there? It will not happen, right? So this frequent elections, one, it will reduce the developmental expenditure by a significant margin. As a result of that, socio-economic development will also reduce in a particular state, and people will be disaffected towards elections. Hence, they will not cast votes in large numbers because of this constant political crisis which was created by these defections. Now, because of this instability, what will happen with regards to policies? What will happen because of this instability? There won't be no continuity in policies. There won't be any continuity in policies. Now, I'll give you one example. Now, in 2009 in Tamil Nadu, DMK was in power. Now, DMK introduced metro rail for Chennai. It introduced metro rail for Chennai. Now, in 2011, DMK was thrown out of the government, and AADMK came to power. Now, as soon as AADMK came to power, they wanted to cancel this entire metro project. Instead, they wanted to focus on monorail project. Now, if ADMK party leader Jayalalitha, if she were to cancel this entire metro project, the amount of time as well as money spent for preparing this metro project would have gone entirely to waste. Am I being correct? In these 2 years, from 2009 to 2011, we would have spent a considerable amount of money planning, surveying, issuing tenders, all these things. For that money would have been spent, right? If metro rail would have been cancelled, we would have wasted that entire policy itself. Now, even not considering this amount wasted in this cancelling metro project, even if you compare this metro project with monorail project, metro rail project will offer considerable more services compared to monorail project, and metro will last longer. It will be more sustainable and it will carry more people compared to monorail. Okay, so this is what happens if there is frequent elections. Okay, even here the government was changed after 5 years. So if that's the case, for government changing every 5 years, imagine what will happen if government is changing every 2 or so years. Now, I'll give you another example. Every 5 years after elections, ADMK and DMK they will alternate power in Tamil Nadu between number of years. Now, as soon as ADMK comes to power, they will change the color of government buses to green. As soon as DMK comes to power, they will change the color of buses to yellow. Why? Because that's the color of their political party. Okay, so Whenever there is an executive change, governmental change, there will be some sort of policy change. But if there is frequent elections, this frequent change of policy between political parties will create a lot of confusion with regards to implementation of policies. So there will be a lot of indecision because of that. There will be a lot of indecision because of that, and state will not grow economy. Okay, there won't be any stability in the particular state, so state will not grow economy. Now that's another reason. If you look at the performance of stock market after every election, if you look at the performance of stock market after every election, stock market will increase if the same government comes to power. Stock market will decrease if another government comes to power. Why? Because stock market is of the opinion that if there is a same government, there will be continuity of policies. This creates stability. This will be very positive for economic growth. But if another government comes, what will happen? They will try to change the previous government policies. As a result of that, what will happen? Based on their own opinion, what will happen? They will think that this incoming government, they will change the previous government's policies. There will be a lot of instability. Because of that, economy will contract. Okay, so these are the effects of defection. These are the effects of defection. Now the next disadvantage with defection is that accountability will be reduced. Accountability will reduce because of defections. Now see here, a political party, as I mentioned before, if this person A is getting elected based on people's vote. He is getting elected based on people's vote. Based on his campaign promise that once this person A has come to power, he will implement BJP election manifesto. He will implement BJP election manifesto. Now, once this A person became MP, if he is defecting from BJP to CPI, Communist Party of India, now these two political parties, they have polar opposite ideologies. Now, if he is defecting from BJP to CPI, he is betraying the people trust, right? He came to power based on the promise that if he becomes an MP, he will implement the manifesto of BJP. Now, if he is defecting from BJP to CPI, which has polar opposite election manifesto, he is betraying the trust of people, right? So, accountability of elected representatives with people will reduce as a result of defections. The next one is, as a result of defections, corruption. As a result of defections, corruption will also increase. Why? Because most of the time persons will be defecting from one political party to another political party based on monetary reasons, not based on ideological or purity reasons, not based on political reasons. Or they will not change. They will change mostly based on monetary reasons, mainly because of corruptions. As I mentioned before, in this case, 20 ADMK MLAs are moving from ADMK to TMK. These 20 MLAs will be moving from one political party to another political party. Why? Because of money offered by another political party in most of the cases. Okay, so it will increase corruption. Okay. Now that this is another major disadvantage with defection. This is another major disadvantage with defection. It destroys faith of people in representative democracy. It destroys the faith of people in representative democracy. As I mentioned before, these people, they are electing this person A. Now this person A defected from BJP to CPI. Now in another 5 years, what will happen? This person A, since they're not satisfied with the performance of A, because he defected from BJP to CPI, they will elect for another BJP candidate. Say for instance A. Say for instance B. They elected for candidate B. Now even if this candidate B also defects from BJP to another political party, they will lose trust in the entire process. The people of this constituency, they will lose trust in the entire political process itself. Okay. So because of this destroying the faith in representative democracy, what will happen? It will create a sort of trust deficit. It will create a sort of trust deficit between people and representatives. It will create a trust deficit between people and representatives. Okay. So these are the effects of defection. These are the negative effects of defection. One is it will create instability. Next one is it will reduce accountability of elected representatives among people. The next one is corruption as a result of that will increase. And the next one is last one is it destroys the faith of people in representative democracy. As a result of that, trust deficit between people and representatives will increase. Okay. Now give me a moment here. Now if you have any doubts so far, please ask your doubts. If you have any doubts so far, please ask your doubts. Okay, so in this class we are going to discuss we are discussing anti-defection law. Everyone. So far we have discussed what are the impact of defection. What is the impact of defection? Okay, so to curb this defection, we have introduced anti-defection law. To curb these defections, we have introduced anti-defection law. We have introduced anti-defection law. Okay. Now see here, this anti-defection law, as I mentioned before, it is not given in original constitution. It is not given in original constitution. It was not given in the original constitution. It was introduced by 52nd Constitution Amendment Act. It was introduced by 52nd Constitution Amendment Act, which amended Article 102, 101, 190 and 191. Okay, so this 52nd Constitution Amendment Act, it amended Article 102, Article 101, Article 190 and then Article 191. Okay, and also it introduced after amending these articles, it also introduced Article 102A and then Article 191A and then 10th schedule. Okay, after amending these articles, it also introduced Article 102A, Article 198, 191A as well as 10th schedule. So this is anti-defection law. Now this anti-defection law, as I mentioned before, was introduced by 52nd Constitution Amendment Act in 1985. It was introduced in 1985. Okay. Okay, the prelims result has been declared, it seems people. The prelims result has been declared, it seems people. Everyone, the prelims result has been declared. Okay. Give me a moment here. Okay. Nothing. I was checking maybe prelims result. Okay, nothing else. Okay, sorry for that. You see, anti-defection law. It was not given in the original constitution. It was introduced by 52nd Constitution Amendment Act in 1985. It introduced. It amended Article 102, Article 101, Article 190, as well as Article 191. It also introduced Article 102A, Article 191A, as well as 10th Schedule. Now, the majority of the provisions in anti-defection law has been given in 10th schedule. Okay, 10th schedule. 10th schedule is the one which says what are the different types of defections which will be grounds for disqualification. So let's discuss 10th schedule. Let's discuss 10th schedule. Let's discuss 10th schedule. Now, in 10th schedule, 10th schedule gives first. It gives grounds of defection. It gives grounds of defection, and so it will also gives in Article 102A. In Article 102A, they have mentioned who takes a decision on disqualification. Who takes a decision on disqualification if the 10th schedule is getting violated. If 10th schedule is getting violated. Alright, so in 10th schedule it provides for grounds of defection and Article 102A. And Article 102A provides decision on disqualification. Okay. Now let's discuss grounds of defection. Grounds of defection. Grounds of defection. See here, when we talk about members of parliament, if this is parliament, when we talk about members of parliament, there are different types of members of parliament. Okay, there are different types of members of parliament. One can be elected members. One type of classification is elected members, nominated members. Okay, one type of classification can be elected members and nominated members. Now, even within these elected members, there can be classification for members from political parties and independent candidates. Okay, so even within elected members, there can be a difference between members from political parties and independent candidates members. Now, when we talk about anti-defection law, anti-defection law will be applicable for all these different types of members of parliament. Nominated members. So, anti-defection law will be applicable for all these different types of members of parliament. Okay, so when we talk about grounds of defection, we will be talking about political party members. We will be talking about political party members. We will also talking about independent members. We will also be talking about independent members, and also we will be talking about nominated members. We will also be talking about nominated members. Okay. Now, when we talk about political party members, here we talk about political party members. Political party members will be disqualified. Political party members will be disqualified if they voluntarily relinquish their political party membership. Okay, if they voluntarily relinquish their political party membership. So, what is this voluntary relinquishing their political party membership? If a person moves from political party X to political party Y, he will be automatically disqualified of the particular political party membership. So, he will be disqualified from MP. Okay. Now, the next one is if they vote or abstain against the direction of political party. If they vote or abstain against the direction of political party. In that case, a political party member will be disqualified. See here, when we talk about whips, so direction to individual members are given via which instrument? Directions to a political party will give directions to members via which instrument? Via whip, right? Via whip, right? Now when we talk about whip, there are three different types of whips. There are three different types of whips. One is one line whip, next one is two line whip, the third one is three line whip. Okay, so these are three types of whips: one line whip, two line whip, and then three line whip. So one line whip is the heading will be underlined once. Two line whip means the heading will be underlined two times. Three line whip means the heading will be underlined three times. Now, when a one line whip is issued by a political party, it just informs the MP that there is a session of political party in the parliament. There is a session as a sitting of parliament. It just informs that there is a particular vote that is happening in parliament. So for every vote, one line whip will be compulsorily issued. For every vote, one line will be compulsorily issued by political party. And in case of two line whip, it requests the attendance. It requests the attendance of MPs. Now, in case of three line whip, these are binding. Three line whip are binding. Now, whenever a three line whip is getting violated, this will be considered as anti-defection and they will be disqualified. Okay, whenever a three line whip is getting violated, it will be considered as anti-defection and they will be disqualified. Okay. The next one is so far we have discussed anti-defection law for political party members. Next, we will discuss anti-defection law for independent members. What are the provisions of anti-defection law for independent members? Okay. See, if independent members joins any political party, he will be anti-defection law will be applicable. Why? If independent members joins any political party? See here. Take constituency RK Nagar. Now the constituency of RK Nagar, they are fed up of both the mainstream political parties, AADMK and DMK. They are fed up of both these political parties and they don't want to vote for these political parties. So they voted for an independent candidate. So now this independent candidate, he got his vote based on what? Him being an independent candidate. So if he is joining political party, he is betraying the trust of his voters, right? So this will also be considered as anti-defection law and hence he will be disqualified from MP post. Not only because of his violating, not only independent members will be disqualified, not because of just is betraying the trust of constituencies. Independent members also can cause instability. Can create instability in parliament. For instance, take the case of Rajasthan parliament. In Rajasthan parliament, okay, there are 300 seats. BJP got around 145 seats. Congress got around 145 seats. Now the rest 10 seats got by independent members. The rest of the 10 seats was occupied by independent members. Now these independent members, they will decide the future of the government. They have the power to decide which political party forms membership, right? So if they are joining any political party, it will create instability, right? So that's why independent members should not, they are not allowed to join any political party, or else anti-defection law will be applicable and they are disqualified. Okay. Now the next one is, now this for independent members. Now another important point is that independent members are only barred from joining political party. They are only barred from joining political party. They can give their support to political party. They can give their outside support to political party. Okay, so these independent members, they are only barred from joining any political party. But they can give outside support to a political party. For instance, if even in the case Rajasthan, these independent members without joining either BJP or Congress, they can provide confidence to either of these governments doing confidence motion. Whenever there is a confidence motion or no confidence motion that was put forth, during those times, these independent members they can give their support to these particular members in the assembly. Okay. Now next we will discuss nominated members. Now nominated members can join any political party, but he has to do so within 6 months. Okay, nominated members they can join any political party, but he has to do so within 6 months. Okay, so these are the conditions for nominated members. Okay, so that's it, everyone. We have discussed grounds of defection. The grounds of defection for political party members, independent members, and the nominated members. We have discussed grounds of defection for all these personnel. Okay, now give me a moment here. Now people, if you have any doubts so far, please ask your doubts. If you have any doubts so far, please ask your doubts, people, or else I am moving on to the next part. I'll give you 1 minute to ask your doubts, everyone. I will give you 1 minute to ask your doubts. After that, I am moving on to the next part. Okay. Okay, so people, please ask your doubts, or else I am moving on to the next part. Okay, see, there are certain conditions for these nominated members. To join any political party. See, once if a nominated member joins a political party, from the date of joining itself, this nominated member will be considered as political party member. Okay, this nominated member will be considered as political party member. So after he becomes this political party member, he will become this one. He will become political party member. So he should not defend his political party, and he should not vote against his political party. Okay. After nominated member become a member of political party, he will be considered as ordinary political party member, and normal provisions of anti-defection law will be applicable for him. So that's the first condition. Now the next one is, if nominated member right from the date of nomination is a political party member, he will be considered as political party member. Okay, so if a political party member, BJP political party member, if a BJP member becomes a nominated member, since he is already a BJP member, he will be considered as a member of that political party. He will not be considered as a nominated member, and ordinary anti-defection law will be applicable to this political party member. Ordinary anti-defection law will be applicable for this particular person. Okay, so these are the conditions that have been given for nominated members. These are the conditions given to nominated members. Now let's discuss exceptions. Let's discuss exceptions. Let's discuss exceptions. See here, there are certain exceptions applicable for anti-defection law to certain cases. There are certain exceptions applicable to anti-defection law. Now in here we will discuss those exceptions. If presiding officers such as speaker, deputy speaker, chairman and the deputy chairman, these are presiding officers, speaker, deputy speaker, chairman and deputy chairman. If these presiding officers relinquish their political party membership, anti-defection law is not applicable. Okay, in the interest of why anti-defection law has been exempted for these presiding officers? Why? Because they are relinquishing their political party membership for neutrality purposes. So that's why if presiding officers are relinquishing their political party membership, anti-defection law is not applicable. Okay. Now the next one is in case of merger. Anti-defection law will be not applicable. So for example, assume this is a political party. Now, out of this political party, if two-thirds of members merge with another political party, if they merge with another political party, or they create a new political party, it will be considered as merger. And they will not be disqualified. If two-thirds of members merge with another political party, or they create new political party, it will not be considered as they will not be disqualified based on anti-defection law. Okay. Now, so far we have discussed grounds of disqualification under anti-defection law. So far we have discussed grounds of disqualification under anti-defection law. Now, next we will discuss who has the decision to disqualify based on anti-defection law. Who has the decision to disqualify? Members based on anti-defection law. Okay, who has the decision to disqualify members based on anti-defection law? So in case of anti-defection law, a members will be disqualified based on decision taken by speaker or chairman. Okay, a members will be disqualified based on decisions taken by speaker or chairman. Now see here, this decision taken by speaker or chairman, it is not a suo motu power. It is not a suo motu power, which means that speaker cannot take the decisions on their own. For instance, take the case of current Lok Sabha. In current Lok Sabha, the speaker comes from BJP political party. Now, since speaker is coming from BJP political party, if the decision is given, if the suo motu power is given to speaker, what will she do? she will unilaterally decide that this particular person has defected from Congress, since he is disqualified. Okay, speaker will decide that Rahul Gandhi has defected Congress political party, hence Rahul Gandhi is disqualified, and speaker decision is final according to constitution, right? So that is another problem. Okay, so that's why speaker, this is not a suo motu power. Decisions taken based on anti-defection law is not a suo motu power given to speaker. Okay, it is not a suo motu power given to speaker. So if it is not a suo motu power, someone should give the complaint, right? Someone should give the complaint to speaker, right? So speaker will disqualify. Okay, speaker will disqualify members. Speaker will disqualify MPs based on complaint. Based on complaint. Now this complaint should be backed up by evidence. This complaint should be backed up by evidence from political parties. This complaint should be backed up by political parties. Now once this complaint has been received by speaker will interpret the constitution. Speaker will interpret the constitution. Speaker will interpret the constitution. After interpreting the constitution, she will arrive at a decision. Speaker will arrive at a decision. Okay, speaker will arrive at a decision. Okay, now this entire process, right? This entire process is a quasi-judicial function of speaker. This entire process is a quasi-judicial function of speaker. This entire function of speaker is a quasi-judicial function of speaker. Now, with regards to variation of speaker with respect to anti-defection law, with regards to that, Supreme Court has given number of verdicts regarding. Regarding that. Now, according to Supreme Court, speaker or chairman act as single member tribunal. They act as single member tribunal in case of anti-defection. They act as single member tribunal during anti-defection law. They act as single member tribunal during anti-defection law. So that's the first thing. So speaker as well as chairman, they act as single member tribunal during the decisions made based on anti-defection law. Okay. Now, the decision regarding anti-defection law will be taken up by speaker, right? The decision regarding anti-defection law will be taken up by speaker, right? But if the decision on anti-defection law is on speaker or chairman itself, if the decision on defection of speaker or chairman is considered, who will disqualify them? If the decision on speaker or chairman is considered, who will disqualify them? See here, in this case, what will happen is that a member elected by the house, okay, he will decide if okay, this person will act as an authority who can disqualify both speaker as well as chairman. Now here, when we are talking about chairman, we are talking about chairman of State Legislative Council, not vice president. Okay, this is different from chairman of Rajya Sabha. Here, when we talk about chairman, we are talking about chairman of State Legislative Council. Okay, so that's it, everyone. So if you have any doubts so far, please ask your doubts. Next we will talk about the views of Supreme Court, cases of Supreme Court. Next we will talk about cases of Supreme Court. Next, we will talk about Supreme Court ruling. One important Supreme Court case regarding anti-defection law. So before that, please, if you have any doubts, please ask your doubts. See, there is an important case. There is an important case called as, before Supreme Court, called as Quixote Holohan case, Quixote Holohan case in 1993. Okay, it was a famous case called as Quixote Holohan case in 1993. Now this Quixote Holohan, he challenged anti-defection law. Anti-defection law. He challenged anti-defection law. Now, he said that his challenge was based on anti-defection law curbs the freedom of legislators, which was guaranteed by Article 105. Okay, Quixote Holohan, he challenged the validity of anti-defection law before Supreme Court based on anti-defection law. He says he challenged this anti-defection law based on the theory that anti-defection law curbs the freedom of legislators, which was guaranteed in Article 105. Okay, Article 105 it provides right to freedom of speech and expressions for MPs within Parliament. So if political party members, okay, they should be representative of people. So they have been given this right to freedom of expression to voice the grievances of their constituency, right? If they have given this freedom to voice their grievances regarding their constituency. Now, anti-defection law, what will it do? It will curb this freedom of expression. They have to toe their party line and they have to vote based on their party instruction. Okay. So this anti-defection law was challenged based on the grounds that it curbs Article 105. Now, in this case, Supreme Court gave a ruling. Now, let's discuss the Supreme Court ruling. There are various important provisions with regards to the Supreme Court ruling, which will be very important from mains perspective. Now, according to the Supreme Court ruling, it upheld anti-defection law. It upheld anti-defection law. Now, according to the Supreme Court, this anti-defection law is subjected to judicial review. According to the Supreme Court ruling, anti-defection law is subjected to judicial review. What is the meaning of subject to judicial review? Which means that decision taken up by speaker. If speaker is they are taking decision regarding disqualification of any MP, this decision can be challenged in court of law. Okay, this decision can be challenged in court of law. So that's the meaning of anti-defection law will be subject to judicial review. Now these are rulings. These are Supreme Court rulings. What is the meaning of ruling? These are to be compulsorily implemented. But apart from Supreme Court giving its ruling, it also gives some recommendations. Regarding anti-defection law. Okay, it also gave some recommendations regarding anti-defection law. Now, according to Supreme Court recommendations, it recommended speaker to use anti-defection law only in 2 cases. Now, one such case is regarding votes that implement election manifesto. And the next one is votes regarding no confidence motion. Okay, Supreme Court recommended to speaker saying that they have to implement anti-defection law only in 2 cases. One regarding votes regarding implementation of election manifesto. Another one is regarding no confidence motion. Okay, so this is a ruling given by Supreme Court. Okay. Now, apart from Supreme Court ruling, Law Commission also gave their opinion. According to Law Commission, recommended that anti-defection law should be applied anti-defection law only in no confidence motion. Anti-defection law only in no confidence motion, not doing any other things. Okay, so according to Law Commission recommendations, they recommended that anti-defection law should be applicable only during no confidence motions, not during other things. Okay. Okay, that's it everyone. That's it everyone. If you have any doubts so far, please ask your doubts. Please ask your doubts, or else I'm going to end this class. Or else I'm going to end this class. Or else I'm going to end this class. Please everyone, if you have any doubts so far, please ask your doubts, or else I'm going to end this class. Okay, that's it everyone. I've given you ample amount of time to ask your doubts. Since no one is asking doubts,